Any sound now? Any sound now? Yes, no, maybe. You hear me? The sound works. Well, there you go. Or were you guys just fucking with me? I know there are some saboteurs out there. Well, sorry about that, kids. We're back. Why does everything have to be so fucking hard for me? Good, good. Thank you very much. Sometimes I get the feeling the world is conspiring against me. I'm not sure what was going on, but we're back. Well, I guess I can start over. I'm getting unconfirmed reports that Big Al from the movie Blood In, Blood Out is no longer with us. I'm not sure what happened, KL. I don't know. But we're back, and I will be doing it for the next hour or so. I apologize for the inconvenience. You know, I'm a man of the people, and I appreciate your patience. What up? What up, Ross and everyone? I see you now. You don't have to retract your message. I don't get offended by anything in the world of the streaming universe. I'm just here to entertain for an hour or so. I don't do 3 to 5 hour streams. I cannot do that. It is not in my brain to do that. I will not financially panhandle because you people are more than just dollar signs to me. And I appreciate those of you who tweeted at my cousin for not putting me on his comedy show. I will now campaign against him. You burn me, I burn you back twice as hard. That's the way I roll. Yes, sound is back. I don't know what happened. Everything was plugged in. I did have a couple voiceover auditions that I had to do, but I didn't unplug anything or whatever. So I think my system was sabotaged by someone from the Dabbleverse. So be that as it may, all Dabbleverse related questions, $2,000 and up. And the limit for super chats is, I think $900. Too bad. $2,000 for all Dabbleverse questions. All Jeff Ross questions. It's an unnamed price. Thank you. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure. I do have a voiceover agent. They are the number one agency in voiceover work. So I'm very lucky. And it really was lucky how I got them. The producer of the Jellies, the lovely Patty J, we'll call her. A couple episodes into the Jellies, she was like, "Do you have a voiceover agent?" I'm like, "I don't." She's like, "Well, how did you get the gig?" And I was like, "Well, Tyler saw me at the Comedy Store, so that's how I got the gig." And then because I'm such a nice guy, Patty got me in with the number one agency in the world. I mean, like, a lot of big name actors are with them because voiceover is such a subsection of Hollywood that you can be a big actor and not have a voiceover agent. But it's a very, niche part of the Hollywood community. There are not that many, people who do the voiceover, acting, so it's very hard to get gigs. Well, I don't wanna say their name on here, but, based on their roster, they are the number one agency. Um, I mean, like, I'm a working actor, I guess you would say, working actor, working comic, and I'm one of the least, working people on their roster, and I work. Just to give you an idea. Um, and the only reason you could look up who I'm with. It's just, then, I once gave their name out on a podcast and like seven people called them saying, "Hey, Earl told me to call you. I'm looking for a gig." That's why I don't say who they are. But, um, and of course, I'm sure people who are with other agencies say that their agency is the best. But like, if you look at the roster of the agency I'm with, like, it's pretty impressive. Now there are some bigger agencies, like say an ICM, a William Morris, uh, who have a voiceover department, but I'm with an agency that does exclusive voiceovers. That's all their concern is. So they don't concentrate on anything other than, like, they can't help me get stand-up gigs or anything like that. So um, it's a pretty big deal to be with them. And I fit, I think another reason I got signed by them is their go-to deep voice guy was, he left the agency. I don't know why. He might not have been pleased. They might have fired him. I didn't ask. Um, I basically replaced him. So, and there's tons of reasons why you could get fired or leave an agency. You might not think they're sending you out enough. He might have been late with his auditions, like the 2 auditions I did today that for a, major streaming network. I can't say what until I actually were to book the gig, um, and they had to be in at noon, not at 12:01, not at 12:02, noon, and if I don't get them in at noon, say if they got both at 12:01, they don't want them. So, that's why, you know, people get fired from a voiceover agency. It's very precise, that world. I appreciate that, Luna. I mean, I do have a good voice for, I guess you'd say, radio or podcasting or streaming. Um, but the voiceover world is incredibly competitive. It's much more competitive actually than stand up. Because in stand up, there's a lot of good gigs. So if you're a good comic, you will get one of them. Like this weekend, I'll guess there's probably about 75 to 100 A clubs, and then a tier below them, good clubs. So if you're a good to great comic, you will get one of those gigs this weekend. But in the world of voiceovers, there's not 100 gigs for a deep voice actor. A week, there's maybe 1 to 3, and you've got the same actors going for them every week. And like in my category, booming deep baritone, you think, oh, I know a lot of guys with deep voices. There really aren't. There's probably 20 of us who work, and most of those 20 are celebrities. Dylan McDermott, James Earl Jones, Billy Brown, and a couple others. Kim Coates. So I've got to hope all those guys are busy. They're doing a movie, TV show. They don't have the time to do it. And then I'm in the next tier with about, I don't know, 5 or 6 other guys who all have voices of varying qualities. So it's really the slightest nuance that your voice has will get you the gig. Deep, deep throat actors. Hello. Like my voice is basically um, as deep as a black, actor, but with a hinge of whiteness. If that makes any sense. So that's why I get a lot of work. Um, so we'll see. I mean, the audition today would be very nice if I got it. It would be my super chat / Patreon money, honey. So, and even though I don't do these streams for money, that's because one voiceover gig per month makes daddy a happy man. So hopefully Big Al from Blood In, Blood Out did not die today. I would be sad. That's coming on the heels of the death of Paul Diamato, who played Tim Dr. Hook McCracken in Slapshot, and the Vietnam vet in Deer Hunter. He only had 2 lines in the movie, but they're very impactful. And then obviously Carl Weathers dying last week. They do seem to die in threes. Why don't you do any audiobook narrating? I mean, that would depend, Stagwar, on the nature of the subject, because I do have a very dry, monotone delivery. So I don't know if that would necessarily work with, say, doing an audiobook of, say, Moby Dick or a self-help book. Like the guy who played my son on the Jellies, Phil Lamar, he can do all kinds of ranges. He can go as deep as me or as high as me. I can go to a high voice, but I'm not going to get paid for it. What up, Secret Snake? Like if Stephen Wright, I don't know, put all his jokes on in an audiobook. Now he'd probably read it himself, but if he said for whatever reason, I don't want to do the actual voice, I probably would get that gig because I know his delivery and me being a comic. Yeah, Phil Lamar is great. Like it was such an honor to work with him. I mean, he's like the De Niro of voice acting. And I think I've told this story before, but I do see some new people. My voice sounds good with this Blue Yeti mic, no doubt about it. But my voice in a recording studio with literally millions of dollars of equipment sounds amazing. But everything is picked up. Like I once farted in the middle of a scene and I didn't think anyone heard it. I mean, I barely let it out, and everyone was like, "Earl, you can't do that in a recording studio." I'm like, "I'm sorry, man." And they were like, "No, you can do it, but it will be picked up in the recording process." Uh, so, but when you say the word, any word that starts with P, like pancake, pussy, uh, Peter, you have a tendency to pop your P, like go, and like I said, in millions of dollars of recording equipment, that you can't release that because it doesn't sound good. So yes, he was Stagwar. So I was having trouble saying the P word one day, and no one was getting mad or anything. But time is money. Um, well, even with a pop filter, it doesn't really, it still will pick up the. So Phil Lamar hands me a pencil, and he's like, "Put this in front of your mouth, and it'll work." And in my brain, I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And so I put the P in between my mouth and the microphone like this, and he grabbed my hand and he he put the eraser tip where he wanted it, and then I set it in the next take. It was perfect, and that just goes to show you how intricate and advanced those microphones are. Is that little blocker between my mouth and the mic worked? An eraser tip, like literally a 2 cent solution helped with all these millions of dollars of equipment. So that's another reason I'm sad that the jellies didn't quite go a little longer. Because to work with Phil every day and Carl Jones, who I believe he created the Boondocks, he was the main producer along with Tyler and Lionel. And, Lionel, I think, won an Emmy this year for The Bear. And like, um, just all the voiceover actors were, it was really an awesome experience. Adam Gifford, who was a singer in one of my favorite 80s Sunset Strip bands, Paradise. Um, Doc Willis, who was the parking lot attendant at the Comedy Store. Tyler gave him his first gig. Um, and, Tyler was, awesome, just really nice and please and thank you. You could tell he was raised very nicely. Oh, okay. I didn't know a lot, and I still don't know a lot about the Boondocks, to be honest with you. But Carl Jones is um, an incredible. Like when he would compliment me, it was like meant the world to me. Um, yeah, I mean, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I mean, that would be a great gig, and um, it's. I think the Jellies, although it didn't last that long, and it's still not canceled. I mean, Tyler's so crazy. I could see him bringing it back because I think he's very impulsive, and he's like, "Hey, fuck it, let's do another season." Um, so never say never. But yeah, getting on a show like that, or I mean, Beavis and Butthead, it's kind of hard to get on because Mike Judge pretty much does all the voices. Star is good. I usually close out now that Brian Holtzman is semi moved to Austin. Uh, I get his Saturday night main room closing spot, so it's really good. I mean, I'm having a good time there, and it's getting back to pre-pandemic levels. I mean, you know, there's a lot of talented young comics there, to take the place of all the headliners who moved to Austin and Texas and Vegas and Nashville and Alabama. So, yeah, I mean, Mike Judge is, when I met him at the Comedy Store a few times, he's so unassuming, but he's awesome. Syrian, I'm just seeing your question. Sorry. Uh, the stream to me, all the questions look alike, so sometimes I miss them. I've never worked with Billy West, but I would love to. Uh, yes, I dated a girl for 3.5 years from Bama, so I got familiar with their culture. I mean, Nick Saban is a god there. Um, and my friend Shuli Edgar lives in Alabama. So, many interesting facts about Alabama. Huntsville is the where all of NASA pretty much works. So it's the South gets a reputation for being but I think it's Huntsville, Alabama. Literally, probably is the smartest city in America. It's all scientists. Um, hey, let's hit the like button. We got 35 people in here, man. I don't ask you guys for much. I'm not panhandling for money, honey. And likes are free. Um, I mean, I was really only in, let me see, Huntsville and Decatur. There is a good comedy club in Alabama, Huntsville Live. I haven't played it yet, but, never say never. I may make my return to Alabama. Um, but I got a lot of Jewish snowbirds. Florida, I don't know. I'm gonna need the stream to speak English. Oh, you were born and raised in Decatur. Yes, Planet Fitness in the house. Um, I mean, I liked it. The South, they're very nice there. Easy 123 War Eagle to you. I don't know what that means. I met John Ray in the Planet Fitness bathroom in Decatur. So, Planet Fitness, I don't know about their business model, to be honest with you. Every time I would go in there, they'd be like, "Oh, you can just work out." I'm like, "I'm not a member." They're like, "Oh, that's cool." And I think they may have recognized me from, oh, okay, I get it easy. Maybe roast battle or something because they would never take my money. I'd be like, and I would go, "Can I buy a week pass?" And I just work out. I'm like, "But I'm not a member." And they were like, "Okay, cool." I mean, Planet Fitness is the only gym I've ever seen that has a bowl of candy at the front desk. I, I guess they're ensuring their members are stay fat. Um, yeah, I mean, Bama and Auburn, it's like the Bloods and the Crips. But it's weird though, like every sporting goods store in Decatur and Huntsville, they would have an equal amount of Bama and Auburn paraphernalia. So, um, yes, that was me, John Ray, watching hockey videos and 80s metal butt rock. Of course, John Ray also saw me at the roast of Ric Flair in Nashville, Tennessee, where the after party at Kid Rock's bar Tootsie's was a real all-timer. That's when Ric Flair told me I was his favorite one, and then he called me Ron. What the fuck? What up, Grimace and Pain? I'm just thought I'd check in at the streaming algorithm. This seems to be a decent time for me to stream. I don't know who else is streaming at the moment, but I don't really care either. Rick was pretty. When I met him the day of the roast about 2 p.m., he had a drink in his hand, and when I said goodnight to him at about 2 a.m., he had a drink in his hand. So, Tom B ruined it for me, to be honest with you, um, in terms of watching Perry. But I'll be honest with you, I never found Perry that funny in the first place. Full disclosure. Um, you know, I don't find it funny. It's very one note. After 5 minutes, it's like, okay, this guy just yells and screams. It's not funny to me. And to me, the only thing that made him even passably funny is Don Barris and Mole. Mole's an actual comedy writer for Kimmel, so it's not like he's just some dude who puts on a wig. And Don's probably the most creative person I know. You know, and I don't, it's no beef against Tom Brennan, but now it's just milking that tit dry, and it's just like, I mean, I've known Perry for shit 20 years. I didn't find him funny then. I find him even worse now. And without a really creative person kind of guiding him, it just kind of seems like Tom Brennan is just exploiting the guy for any last bit of money he can get. I don't think the Kimmel show's ending. I haven't heard that. I was in Tom Brennan's wedding right down the street at the homosexual cowboy bar, Blazing Saddles, which is now out of business. I mean, if a gay cowboy bar can't make it in West Hollywood, it ain't going to make it anywhere, brothers. But now it's going to be, I think, a weed infused restaurant or something in those lines. Yes, I was a cage dancer in my white undies that had a lot of yellow pee-pee stains because I take a lot of vitamins. And listen, your pee is going to be yellow. But trust me, I had a girl with some big whoppers, if you know what I'm saying. I don't mean Burger King. She became a fan of mine real fast. Boing! Um, but that was a fun. I don't think they ever released it, to be honest with you. Uh, that which is crazy that, we spent 12 hours filming this thing, and to my knowledge, it's never been released. But that's not my, oh, okay, but I don't think they released the full thing. I mean, it was, a quite, involved, uh, project, and there's a lot of people. I mean, this place was sold out. Um, yeah, I mean, who doesn't like big boobs? I mean, even gay dudes appreciate them. Uh, but I mean, you'd have to ask Don Barris about that. I mean, Don has literally thousands of hours of clips of us doing the band late night at the store and ding dong show stuff, Perry stuff. Uh, I mean, I remember when I met Perry was at the Canoga Park Bowl, which was a open mic on Tuesday nights, but it was in the middle of a bowling alley. I mean, it wasn't in the middle; it was in the middle room of a bowling alley, so you'd literally hear people bowling while you were doing your jokes. But a lot of funny comics would play there, like myself, Ian Bagg, Jason Galern, many others. And I had a good set one night. Rerun Barry was the host. Um, and one night, that's where I met Perry. He um, gave me his business card and said, "Hey, I'd like to work with you." And I was like, "Who the fuck is this bozo?" And then I got to know him through Windy City Heat and whatnot. No, he has no idea he's the butt of the joke. It's not an act. He's mentally, like, not all there. So, now a lot of people said, "Well, how can you say Perry's not funny with Tom when, Tom's basically doing the same thing Don and Mole did?" But, like I said, Don and Mole are, like, legitimate comedy writers, creators, um, and, Tom, I don't know what he does as a living, but, um, if I've watched a few of the recent Perry videos, and it's just I don't know, I just don't find it funny. Well, I mean, I'm friends with Jasmine St. Clair. You know, I don't know how anyone could stick up for Ron Jeremy. It's funny, I just walked Lois by the rainbow. Now, one of the victims of Ron Jeremy, alleged victims, yeah, they're suing the rainbow for basically saying they provided Ron Jeremy a open house to create his sexual, assaults and whatnot. It's going to be interesting to see how that lawsuit goes. I don't know who Frankie McDonald is, to be honest with you. It is. I don't know why Peter Sky Parker. It's extra deep, which is why I think I have a good feeling about those two voiceover auditions I had today. The older I've gotten, the deeper my voice is getting. It's almost getting to a Darth Vader level. Well, Calrissian, did he survive? Don't think this technological terror you've created can fight the Force. Um, so, I mean, we're all looking for that one Darth Vader gig. What's your favorite karaoke song, Big Earl? Well, I don't really sing karaoke because my voice is so deep that um, I don't. Uh, there's very few vocalists. Like I could sing Springsteen. Thunder Road's a good song for me to sing um, because it's in my register. Like a Boston, like More Than Feeling. I've tried More Than a Feeling. It's tough because Brad Delp's vocals are very high. Maybe the greatest high voice ever, but with Springsteen, I can. Hey, I'd take a Clear Eyes commercial. I've never tried a Danzig song, but, Springsteen, like Thunder Road, I can nail it. Screen door slams, Mary's dress sways. Like a vision, she dances across the porch as the radio plays. Roy Orbison singing for the lonely. Hey, that's me, and I want you only. Don't turn me home again. I just can't face myself alone again. Don't you run back inside, darling. You know just what I'm here for. So you're scared and you're thinking that maybe we ain't that young anymore. Well, show a little faith. There's magic in the night. You ain't a beauty, but hey, you're all right. Something like that. I can't show the chat my Buffalo Bill. That's at least $500 to do Buffalo Bill on stream. Some things have a price. Um, well, I mean, that's hello, Steven Chavez. Yeah, Gina Babina, I think the official moderator of the Inappropriate Earl streams. Um, I don't watch In Hot Water, so I don't know anyone who goes on In Hot Water. I've been on it, I think, once. I have really cut back my watching of uh, all the Dabbleverse shows. It just bums me out too much, man. Like, I'm in a pretty good mood most of the time, so I turn on these shows and they're all stream sniping each other, talking shit, and then I've heard even a few shows go after me, and lightheartedly, of course, but like it's like when you're starting to like go after me, you've run out of targets because I do think that going after Chad and you know the other things they go after, Stuttering John, it's just boring to me. Um, I mean, I would say the two shows I guess I routinely listen to are Melton in the morning and, MLC, but it's just a lot of repetitive, I've got more money than this and I make more than this guy. And, it's like, if your whole thing is you make more than whoever in whatever fashion, whether it be Patreon, super chats or whatever, you're going to always be disappointed because there's always going to be someone who has more than you. I mean, Russell Peters makes more than everyone in the Dabbleverse times 100. And I've never heard Russell once say how much he makes. So has Chad Zumark continued to commit credit card fraud? Now, Stagwar, all Dabbleverse related questions have a price to it. I will answer that one free since you are a frequent listener. I don't know. Oh, I love Kevin. I mean, listen, he's making more money than all of us put together. So I am certainly not critiquing anyone's business acumen on here. Well, I think at some point, the Z-Man, excuse me, and others, it's like the little boy who cried wolf. At some point, it just gets old and, repetitive. But that's his brand. And frankly, the Dabbleverse probably doesn't exist if not for Chad, because he goes after Steel Toe, then he goes after Melton, then he goes after Kevin, he goes back with Kevin, he goes after Levy, so like Chad comes from the pro wrestling world, so Tom Zink, that's an old school reference there. I thought you were going to go Tom McGee, a Canadian strongman from the Peg. But I just try and stay out of it. Like if I like when I go to Hackamania, I will do the comedy shows, but I'm probably not going to be on any of the podcasts because those guys are going to be high and drunk, and they're just gonna, you know, "Hey, let's talk bad about Steel Toe. Let's talk bad about Carl. Let's talk bad about," and it's like, I got nothing to add, man. Uh, Empty juice contains my bike's back. I mean, I don't know why, but my voice really is, not scratchier, but more gravelier today. Well, I'm friends with, Patton, so, I definitely didn't agree with Chad on that, but, I also don't tell people how to behave. Like, you wanna go after one of the biggest comics in the world and you're trying to be a comic yourself, it's not really the smartest thing to do, to be honest with you. Um, like, that's a guy who can make one phone call and say, "I won't play your club if this guy plays." So, but I guess that was, that probably was the start of the Dabbleverse, to be honest with you. But I love Patton. Um, Thoughts on Chad as a stand-up comic? I've honestly never seen him do stand-up, other than what I've heard on like snipe streams and stuff. I don't watch a lot of stand-up. I don't watch any stand-up, to be honest with you, because I want to do it. Um, You know, so, it's like I would imagine Tom Brady doesn't watch football, you know? I'm not putting myself on Tom Brady's level as a comic. I'm just saying, like, I can't imagine Tom Brady when he goes home the next day, "I wanna watch the game tonight." So I don't watch anyone's stand-up because I don't wanna take ideas, I don't wanna take anyone's cadence. That's why I don't listen to a lot of podcasts because I don't wanna take anyone's questions or formats. So, you know, I can only really comment on, uh I mean, I can't think of anyone's comedy I've seen. I mean, the last 2 specials I watched was Brendan Schaub's first special a couple years ago, and around the same time, Jeselnik's special, because I had such a good time. Uh, I was writing at the time, and Jeselnik's special just came on, and I know him. We're not, like, best friends or anything, and then all of a sudden, it was so good, I stopped, and then maybe I can learn something from him. I know, almost at 50 people, that's pretty good for me. I think my all-time high in a stream is about 70 people on a Sunday night. So, are you being serious, John? I didn't, I never know if people are kidding or whatnot. Earl, what are your thoughts on Aaron Imholt using people's login for streaming services? I mean, I pay for all my streaming services, so I don't like that, but I know a lot of people who, I guess, share streaming services. I mean, I don't know. It's if you can't afford $9 a month, man. Um, I watched the first Brendan Schaub special. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't comment on people's stand up that from bar shows. I've done a lot of bar shows. They're awful. You could put Jerry Seinfeld in a bar show. He's not going to sound like the greatest comic of all time. Um, so, I mean, I don't like the stream sniping either. To be honest with you, I mean, so many of these shows don't have any content. They're just commenting on someone else's show. Like, if I could pat myself on the back, like today, I'm going to stream for about an hour and 15 minutes. And, I'm not sniping anybody, you know. Uh, Earl, I need an appointment for Gabriel at Smooth Cheeks. Yeah, you could just call him and tell him Earl sent you. What up, Lance? Curious Callie, you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Melton knows what he's doing. Um, Earl, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know who else he's invited, to be honest with you. I mean, it'll be interesting to see that group in a room who talks a lot of shit. It's different to talk shit online. I could sit here and say, whatever, so and so's a dick, they're fat. but it's another thing to say it to their face in the same room. So I'm almost going just to see that. Um, I mean, yeah, but then I'd have to watch stand up, and I really don't like watching stand up. It's not that I wasn't invited to a Super Bowl party, but Jim knows I live in LA, so oh, 100% the Dabbleverse is played out. I mean, when certain streams are going after me, they've run out of targets. Um, so Carl will come by himself. He doesn't need 5 to 6 people. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I know Carl the least. I've never spoken with him, so I don't know how he operates. Yes, people do have to pay for Dabbleverse questions, but they might be new timers. I try and keep this stream positive. As you can tell, we're 41 minutes in. I've read most of the questions. I know the prevailing school of thought is don't read any of the questions and then people will super chat you more, but I'm not panhandling here. Um, oh no, I don't think they'll boot you for wearing a CM Punk shirt. I'm gonna pretty much just do my gig and leave, Lance. I'm not gonna stay in the fucking house where everyone's getting drunk and high. Um, so that's just not my jam. But, I'm a weird dude at night. I like to go out, work out. I like to eat at 3 in the morning. I like to watch a lot of TV. So I am not. I don't know where everyone else is staying, but I will not be there. I'll pretty much just do the show. Maybe try and do some other shows. I mean, there are a lot of comedy gigs in Vegas. Not many of them good, but I think because of my LA reputation, I could hop on a couple shows, and I'm only going to be there 2 nights. Hey, we have our first super chat of the night. You know what that means? Curious Kalu, $2. Dabble bucks. Thank you, CC. I have frosted the tips of my hair, but not anymore. Yes, Gina, hit the like button. Least favorite wrestler, CM Punk. What a dick. Gina gets us tapping. Oh, wait a minute. Stagwar. Now the super chat's coming in fast and furious. Stagwar, $5. Thoughts on comedy superstar Brendan Schaub quitting stand up? I don't know if he ever started it. Hey, we're at 50 people in here. Well, the super chats are flying in right now. Lance, I guess that's a super sticker or whatever. Lance, $4.99. Thank you, Curious. Thank you, Stagwar. Thank you, Lance. I will say the super chats are easier to read because I'm blind as a bat. Give it another shot, Dylan. It's some of the best quality from top to bottom. Okay, people are talking amongst each other's. Artie's Boogie, hello. Easy 1, 2, 3, hello. Hate Kalu. Why? I like him. Luna Shtick. Blast his ass. A bunch of good eggs in here. There are, I'm curious. Why do you hate? Oh, okay. Curious. Do we have? Okay, we've got people. Yeah, you guys can talk amongst yourselves. Manny Mello, I think you're new to the stream. Yeah, I try and have a good group. I mean, you guys can talk about the Dabbleverse. I try not to talk about it too much. But getting back to Brendan Schaub quitting comedy, I don't think his heart was in it, to be honest with you. I never once saw him at like an open mic or, uh, you know, a workout room. There are comedy rooms in Los Angeles that established A-level comics go to work out new material. I mean, Ian Bagg goes to workout rooms, but that's why Ian Bagg is one of the great comics in LA and in the country. I never saw Schaub doing that. Um, Schaub's kind of that, that new wave of podcasting comics that, they're a huge draw, from the standpoint of they have like hundreds, thousands of listeners, downloads. And I think comedy clubs, they see that and go, "Oh, let's have this person play our club." But what the situation is, um, it's like in this stream right now, you guys are fans of mine or whatever, but it's free. I mean, outside the super chats, but for the most part, even if you super chat me, it's pretty economical. Um, you don't have to pay for parking. You don't have to pay for a date to enter into a comedy club. I mean, it's expensive, um, going to comedy clubs and seeing a favorite comic. Even if you have free tickets, you still have to pay for 2-drink minimum. So that's 4 drinks if you're with a date. Um, you probably went to dinner somewhere else, so you can add that on. There's parking. Um, so that's why a lot of podcasters struggle at stand up because their fans don't come to shows necessarily. I mean, outside of Rogan. Um, but I mean, his podcast probably makes him a lot of money. So, I mean, stand up, you got to really be in it for the right reasons, or you won't do it for a long time. It's too fucking difficult. I swore off WWE TV. Well, I think AEW is about to business is about to pick up because you got Sting's retirement match March 3rd. Okada, I think I read today, signed with AEW. He's a huge star from New Japan, and I believe the Boston March 13th card, which is 2 Dynamites from now, the rumored debut of Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks. So, and rumored coming back, Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. So, I would give AEW another shot. Well, it doesn't matter if Adam hates him. If Rogan likes him, he's going to get spots. But I got to be honest with you. I don't think Schaub is funny, but um, every time I ran into him at the Comedy Store, he was always nice and respectful to me. So there's that. You know, I think he looked at me as kind of an elder statesman of comedy at least at the Comedy Store. Um, so I have no personal problem with him, and I'm not even saying he couldn't have been funny, but he didn't put in the effort. I think, the only work he did was, getting on Rogan shows, and obviously they're going to be fans of Brendan from his MMA experience. So he walked into some pretty easy rooms very early on. So I don't think he felt the need to practice like I do. I still go to practice rooms. Um, there's a room Monday nights in Redondo Beach called Ponchos, and it's a comedy room, but a lot of A-list comics go there. Sarah Tiana's there a lot. It's not we're not disrespecting the room by calling it a practice room, but it is a room where you could try out new material to a crowd that is there for comedy, and you'll get a good gauge on whether that will work at the Comedy Store. Say, oh yeah, Sting and the Undertaker. That's the greatest match that never happened. If it I think Sting probably when he went to TNA and what was that, 2001, 2002, that's the era that match should have happened, and I'm sure WWE reached out to him, but I think Sting was very hesitant in terms of how he would be used, and it turns out he was right. Yes, Kane is legitimate politician, um, but now I don't wanna see it. I mean, we're not gonna see it now anyway, but, can you imagine the entrances that they would have had? And, you know you know, uh, The Undertaker was Mean Mark Calloway in WCW, so Sting and him probably knew each other in passing, so I mean, Dylan, it's not for everyone, to be honest with you. Um, you gotta fucking it's like the other night at the Comedy Store. Now here I am, uh, main stage, main room at the number 1 club arguably in the world. I mean, I know some people say the Mothership or the Stand in New York, and that's fine. But I still believe everyone wants their name on the wall at the Comedy Store. They just do. So, uh, but everyone ran the light. I went on my 12:15 spot turned into literally a 1:15 spot, and the crowd's exhausted at that point, and I don't think Shab would be down for shit like that. Um, so, oh, I remember Sean McCorkle. He was a good fighter. Um, well, I mean, Mothership is hot right now. It's probably the hottest club in the country. I mean, Joe did an amazing job at not the remodel, but the building of it, and it's basically the Comedy Store Austin. So, yeah, Goldust was very funny. Um, well, I think Shab had a lot of haters because he brought it on himself. If there's one thing that established comics hate, it's people like him cutting the line from another field. Like, that's why so many people don't like Jeremy Piven. He gets Me Too'd out of Hollywood, and then it's like, oh, I think I'll get into stand up. And now you have that girl from Vanderpump Rules, Billy Lee. She's getting into stand up, and she hasn't put in the work. And you know, I've met her once or twice. She seems pretty nice, but um, you know, I think she thinks. Oh, I could just tell seeing her up at the Comedy Store a lot that she thinks she belongs there. And it's like, honey, this is the NBA, NHL, NFL, UFC of comedy, whatever you want to call it. You got to pay your dues. But because she's on a successful reality show and has, I think, like 120,000 followers, she'll probably get spots that she doesn't deserve. But that's comedy. Um, I mean, I saw Tony Clifton play at the Comedy Store, and he had a black band, and he was dropping hard N bombs in front of them. So, Rogan and Tony left a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You see some of the Kill Tony comics who, um, you build up a following doing Kill Tony because it's a very popular show, but you don't have 10 minutes of material. And so, you might headline a club, but I don't think you'll be asked back. To do an hour of stand-up, it's not easy. It's easy for the people who are skilled at it, but like when you see some of these people on Kill Tony stumble through 1 minute of comedy, but it's funny because Tony rips into them or whoever the guests are rip into them. Um, they get popular and say a club like Hyenas in Corpus Christi is, hey, yeah, we'll headline, I don't know, William Montgomery or whatever. And then after the fight, like I find William funny for about 5 minutes. And then it's like gets a little repetitive. It's like, you want to listen to that for an hour? Nothing against him, but it's just like, you know, hold on. We got Canadian money coming in now. Manny Mello. It's not the price of a coffee, but it's an experience. When you go to a comedy show, it's a whole night out. All of it. The show, the drinks, the laughs, even the rides home. None of us complain. Little extra because you're from Canada. Well, you might not complain, Manny, but what I'm saying is, as a performer, um, I'm very cognizant of the fact of the money you guys have spent. Like I'm playing the comedy club, the comedy store Monday night, or no, I'm sorry, not Monday night. I'm playing the comedy store Saturday night. I'm closing out the main room. So Saturday night, I'm going to assume everyone in that room has gone to dinner. So that's $100, $200, depending where you go. You've paid for parking, that's probably another $20. 2 seats, unless you got in for free through a friend on the show, it's, you know, depending where you're sitting, VIP or whatever, that's, let's say $80. And if you go out afterwards, so a full night out on a Saturday night in LA is hundreds of dollars, with the comedy club being the center point of that um, experience. So that's why I always try and give my best, because I do appreciate we're just coming out of a pandemic. Los Angeles is a very expensive place to live or come to if you're a tourist. So you know, I wasn't saying that people complain, Manny, but I think more comics should be appreciative of the fact that you guys spend a lot of money. Hell, I'm appreciative of the people who super chat and buy memberships and stuff. You guys don't have to do that, but you do. Like ACDC 5150, $1.99. Irish boxer Mickey Ward versus Arturo Gotti fights. I'm personally ACDC 5150, a Ron Lyle, George Foreman man myself. Yes, the parking ticket if you overstay. Um, well, no, but I mean, I'm just, and not to put it all on Kill Tony comics, but I've seen it uh, with roast battle comics. Where roast battle is a very similar. You're on stage maybe in a one round battle, you're doing maybe 3 to 4 minutes of material. So, back in the heyday of the show, you would get quite a following from it. So, comedy club would, hey, let's headline this person. They were really funny on Roast Battle season 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. Um, and then you got to do an hour. And the thing with Roast Battle comics is, you go up there and you're roasting instantly, just shitting on people, and which is fine because the crowd there, that's what they want. But when you go to a stand-up show, you got to get the crowd on your side before you roast them. Like, I was on a show recently with another roast battle comic who they're very popular on the show. And yes, thank you, Brick Block. And I apologize for the early sound problemos. I'm not quite sure what happened, but we have righted that wrong. But back to my point about the roast battle comic is I went first. I did 20 minutes. And although I wasn't killing, I was doing very well. Now, in about the middle of the 20 minutes, I started lightly roasting the people, but I had already gotten them on my side, so I could do that. Well, the roast battle comic goes on next, and they start bombing right out of the chute, which is fine. Everyone bombs. Um, and then they were supposed to do 8 minutes. So they were bombing the first 4, and then they start roasting the crowd. And they did not do well. And then the headliner went on. And as I'm talking to this person in the green room, she was like, well, I just thought I'd do what you did because it seemed to work for you. And I'm like, but if you notice the first 10 minutes, I established a trust with my stand up, and then I delved into the roasting. And your first 3 or 4 minutes, no offense, but you didn't do well. And then your only backup plan wasn't backup jokes that work. It was, well, I'm going to roast. And it's like, no crowd wants to be roasted by a comic that's been bombing. So I got some roasted nuts for you, Fraser. Yeah, hit the like button. There's 44 people in here, but only 30 likes. Hitting the like button is free. Now, you don't get the ray gun, but I will give you a thank you. Oh my God, Lance, if I started outing the pedophiles in comedy, I'd have 10,000 people in here, literally. Believe me, it's tempting to sit there and go, "Okay, what could I do that I'd get more people in here and more super chats or whatever?" But, I don't know. I mean, I could get sued. That's stuff you could get sued for. So, I'd have to do an anonymous stream. Uh, well, I mean, that's, Peter Sky Parker, that's on Melton. I mean, it'll be interesting, the stand-up show. I mean, I think if I'm Melton, I mean, here are the established comics at Hackamania, myself, Melton, Pat Dixon, Ray, and then you got people like Carl who are not established comics. Like, if I were Melton, I would have Carl host because you got to figure he has no material basically. So that's what I would do. Um, well, I appreciate that, Manny, but it's not bullshit. Like, I appreciate, it's the economy's rough these days, and I realize that in terms of the streaming hierarchy, I'm low man on the totem pole. So by the time you guys listen to me, you've already probably donated to Kevin, Melton, Chad, Steel Toe, Shuley. So I appreciate all that you guys do for me. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do the stand-up shows, but I'm not gonna participate, in, like, the Dabbleverse type podcast. I have nothing to add, and I'm not gonna be like a 7th mic on a shitting on Stuttering John, like, it's just not, or Chad or whatever. I think personally, think Chad should come. We do a Chad roast, and then everyone ends up being closer after that. Uh, so I mean, I'm staying at a hotel, so I don't care if Content House was real or not. What do I do for fun? I don't do any of those. I take yoga. I'm going to end the stream at 5:30, so we got another 12 minutes here. I watch hockey. I'm a big hockey fan. I go on long walks with Lois because Lois is a little older, so I'm going to cherish the long walks while she can still do them. I love her a lot. And wait, Wayne Fraser gifted 1 membership because she's bittersweet. She knocks me off of my feet, and I can't help sell what don't want anyone else. She's a mystery. She's too much for me, but I keep coming back for more. She's just the girl I'm looking for. Um, John Doe, please stay. Oh, you've already said it. Thank you, Wayne Fraser, for gifting John a membership. The Kings play the Predators tonight. It's going to be interesting tonight. Blake Lizotte is back in the lineup, playing on a line with Pierre-Luc Dubois and the bustling Quentin Byfield, who is really stepping it up. Maybe had the goal of the year Tuesday against the Columbus Blue Jackets. My guy, Arturs Kaliev, probably scratched and out of his way of Los Angeles. John Doe, $5. Just sends me $5. Doesn't say anything. Lois is the best. I will be incredibly sad when that day comes, but hopefully it doesn't come for a very long time. Um, she is my whole world. She's outlasted. Easy, you got to pay for the predator noise. Otherwise, everyone will be just start, you know, hey Earl, do this noise, do that, do that. I mean, I'm not a monkey with a ball on my nose. I'll give you this one for free. You got to pay for the rest. You got to pay for the rest. Here's the predator noise, the predator noise. And I don't mean Harvey Weinstein or some of the comics that I work with. Peter Sky Parker, favorite Ashley Parker Angel song. Yes, Let You Go. No, no, you can request Easy 123, but sometimes you gotta pay the money, honey. Because if I do you for free, then everyone else will be like, "Hey, Earl, do this noise, do that noise," and then, I'll give you one more Predator for free. One more, one more. Anytime. Major, you better take a look at this. Blaine's body. It's gone. Hey, Billy, I said to my girlfriend the other day, geez, I'd like a little pussy. Geez, I'd like a little pussy. She said, why'd you say it twice? I said, I didn't. It was the echo. Hey, Billy, I said to my girlfriend the other day, I'd like a little pussy. She said, me too. Mine's as big as a house. See, I'm giving you some bonus. I'm giving you some bonus. You got to pay for the next one, but I'm giving you some bonus Predator lines. Que paso, mujer? Que paso? She says the same fucking thing. The jungle, it came alive and took him. Bullshit. That's not what she said. That's exactly what she said. Are you telling me Blaine and Hawkins were killed by a fucking lizard? All right, that's enough. Lance 199. Do the Seth Rogen laugh. I got to be honest with you, Lance. I don't know the Seth Rogen laugh. I know Billy Bear from 48 Hours and Billy from Predator. John, see, that's what I mean. Easy 123. Now John Doe wants me to do a line from Commando. No, from Predator when he threw the knife at the guy. Stick around. Here's I'm scared, Poncho. There's something out there, and it ain't no man. We're all gonna die. The man's losing it. Buddy, buddy, buddy. I've seen some badass bush before. Yeah, I hear you. You lose it here, you're in a world of hurt. Um, you're hit, man. You're hit, man. Son of a bitch is stuck in there tighter than an Alabama tick. I ain't got time to bleed. You got time to duck? Bunch of goddamn maggots. This stuff will make you a sexual tyrannosaurus, just like me. Strap this on your sore ass, Blaine. See, I'm giving Easy 123. I feel bad. I came in hot, Adam. I came in hot. I apologize. Um, I met the actor the other day, the guy who got shot in the head first in Commando. Your daughter's safe, General. If you want her to stay that way, we can't have you running guns around people's faces, right? Wrong. Have to do another four. Honky tonk. Jesus, can I get that in English? I don't know what you're saying. Wait, which guy was a real? No, Easy 123. I don't want you to feel bad. I just, I feel bad that I came in hot uh, at you. You know, I love my fans. We make a stand now. There'll be no one left to get to the chopper. I'll even throw in an additional line. See what? That's what I'm saying. Peter Sky Parker, you got to pay for that. Come on, man. I can't do that scene though, so don't pay me for that scene. I'll give you a special Arnold line from Raw Deal. Resign or be prosecuted. Running Man was great. I don't know a lot of lines from that Sean T. Wheeler. No, it's all good. I don't want you to feel bad. I'm just fucking with you. See, I don't panhandle for money. We got 5 more minutes before I have to go to yoga. I have to put on my special tank top that makes me sweat like a bird. So before I do that, let me thank all my tippers tonight. I appreciate it. There's a lot of tippers tonight. Curious Kalu, Stagwar, Lance, Manny Mello, ACDC 5150, Wayne Fraser for gifting memberships, John Doe, Peter Sky Parker, and Lance. I appreciate it. Who knows? Thursday might be the second flagship show of the Earl Skakel Earlverse. The numbers seem to be good at this time. The morning numbers aren't good, to be honest with you. I'll still do them. Oh, I didn't know that. Richard Chavez. And the guy with the glasses who was killed first when he went to chase the girl in the jungle, he wrote the movie. That's Shane Black. He wrote Lethal Weapon, Predator, and a couple other movies. Of course, Sonny Landon was Billy Bear from 48 Hours. Carl Weathers from the Rocky movies. Bill Duke, American Gigolo, Commando, Car Wash. And the girl was I think a pretty well-known Hispanic actress. When in the morning, Earl? Well, I tried this week. I think I did like Tuesday and Wednesday morning at about 10 p.m. my time. But the numbers weren't great, to be honest with you. Leo Gunn gifting 5 memberships. Days with Jordan the Lion, $5. Looks like Ric Flair is going to turn on Sting one last time, the old rat. I'm going to have to get a new ray gun with all these fucking donations. Yeah, and you were right, Jordan. Jordan turned me on to Wardlow's heel speech. It's a very Hulk Hogan bash at the beach. I've paid my dues. I've held my head high. And the reception I got when you fans came out here, you can stick it, brother. Because if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, you people wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff would still be selling meat from a truck in Minneapolis. And if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, all these Johnny-come-latelys, they wouldn't be here either. I was selling out the world while they were bumming gas to put in their car to get to high school. So hopefully they don't fuck up Wardlow any more than they already have. Yes, and please thank Leo Gunn for the memberships. I'm hopeful that Wardlow, he's going to turn on the Kingdom and Adam Cole. Can you say get your damn hands on her Biff? I don't know what that's from, Peter Sky Parker. I traded tweets with Missy High. I'll take those Kaliev rookie cards. Are any of them signed, Wayne? Do you have any Link Gates rookie cards? Might make a calzone tomorrow. Well, that's good. People are telling us what they're going to make for food, but that's Chris Mack. He's a legend in the Earlverse. All right, we got about 3 more minutes before I have to run to yoga. And by the way, check out Jordan the Lion's vlog, the #1 travel vlog in the land. He does great videos. He has a really cool but sad, cool story about meeting Carl Weathers. It's shit like that, Jordan. That's why I don't want to meet people. Like, I love Carl Weathers. If he was a dick to me, I'd be brokenhearted. But I got the last laugh, didn't I, Carl? Bitch. Just kidding. And I'm still trying to get confirmation. William Zoom might be able to help me on this one. That Big Al from Blood In, Blood Out died. Of course, I played Big Al on the Popeye Bebo roast. If you know the movie Blood In, Blood Out, you know Popeye was the bad guy. We had a roast. It's available on his Patreon. I don't get $1 from it. I'm just telling you, if you look up Carlos Carrasco and his Patreon, it's worth it. Just sign up for a month to see the roast. It's worth it. And they asked me if I would play Big Al. Nothing like being asked to play a rapist pedophile, but it does fit. I am in comedy. Hello! hit my mouth on the mic. Pew! I don't. It's interesting if Flair turns on Sting. I mean, I don't know. See, I think a bunch of people from Sting's past should come out and interfere in the match. It'd be funny to see Sid come out. Easy123 gifted 5 Earl Skakel memberships. I feel bad now, but I'm Jewish, so I'll take it. I'll just do some random Schwarzenegger lines for Easy123 because I yelled at him earlier. What's your name? Joseph P. Brenner. What's the P stand for? Pussy. Scared, motherfucker? Well, you should be, because this Green Beret's going to kick your big ass. I ate the Green Berets for breakfast, and right now I'm very hungry. Sniff them. They're downwind. You think I could smell them? I did. See, this was a fun stream. I wish I didn't have to go to yoga. It's 5:32. I must drive up there. I don't know any True Lies. That's probably one of my least Schwarzenegger favorite movies. I don't know who Peter Chicken Man Brennan is, because they know a lot of inside baseball about the Comedy Store, like just making jokes about Bushman's daughter. That's a deep cut. Like, you got to be a real Comedy Store voyeur to know anything about Bushman's daughter. We gotta rock down to Bushman Avenue. I know I drive to yoga because I can't leave Lois alone because she gets up on the computer desk and it looks like a steel cage match has happened in here. So, and then we take it higher out in the streets. Shout out to Eddie Grant. No, that's not Raw Deal, John Doe. That's Commando. But I'll do it for you, and then I gotta go. So thank you guys all. It's a fun chat today. I think Thursday nights will be my second flagship hour. It might even replace Sunday. Hold on, let me hold an action figure. I'll hold the Earl Skakel 1-of-1 wrestling doll upside down. I'll do some voiceover work here. And action. Remember when I said I'd kill you last? That's right, Matrix, you did. I lied. And then Ray Dong Chong comes up to him. What happened to Sully? He dropped out. So Earl Skakel here, the Earlverse stream. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate all the tippers, the gifted memberships. As many of you know, from day one, I've said I will not fucking panhandle and ask you guys for money. I will ask you to support my friends, Jordan the Lion, top travel vlog in the YouTube world. I will ask maybe to tweet at Robert F. Kennedy Jr. why I wasn't on his goddamn stand-up show that nobody talked about. Tell you what, if I was on it, they would have talked about it. But that's all right. I need help from nobody. I'm a soldier. So I'll try Friday nights around this time. Friday nights at 4 p.m. I'll give it a try. Bucket. Earl Skakel. Over and out.